A city sleeps, but danger never rests. The night is silent, yet every shadow hides a memory of the hero the world has forgotten. Spider-Man is gone, or so they think. But when the mask falls and the world turns cold, a new day begins. One darker, heavier, and more dangerous than ever before, rain falls across New York City. Not just the kind of rain that cleans the streets, but the kind that feels endless, like it carries the weight of every broken promise. The screen is dark, with the faint outline of a skyline glowing through storm clouds. A single Spider-Man mask lies in the gutter, torn, its colors dulled by dirt and water. Lightning flashes. The mask almost looks alive, like it's still breathing, still waiting to be worn. A voice breaks through the silence, not cheerful, not hopeful, but heavy, almost mournful. When the world forgets who you are, does that mean you're free? Or does it mean you're lost? The voice echoes, not tied to a face, not tied to anyone, yet it grips the audience. The camera glides over New York. We see neon lights flickering. A billboard that once showed Spider-Man's symbol now stands blank. Another flashes the Daily Bugle headline in bold red letters. Where is Spider-Man? The paper spins in the air, caught in the wind, pages ripped away as though even the news has forgotten him. Then quiet shots of Peter's world, faceless and distant. A small apartment room lit only by a lamp, stacks of books piled on the floor, an empty cup of coffee growing cold. A hand reaches for a photo frame, but it's turned face down. We never see the photo. The voice returns, softer now. He gave everything. And in return he lost everything. The rain grows louder. Quick flashes strike across the screen. The blur of Spider-Man swinging through dark alleys alone, unseen. A subway train passes, its windows reflecting the briefest glimpse of red and blue. Another flash, his shadow racing across a brick wall, but no one stops to notice. Then the music swells, low and haunting. The city seems endless, yet Peter feels small inside it. The voice sharpens. The world may not remember Peter Parker, but the enemies he made never forget. With that line, we see a door closing in darkness, heavy footsteps echoing down a hall. A faint laugh, chilling, cut short as the scene fades. The section ends with a wide shot of the city skyline. Thunder cracks. The words appear on screen in bold white. Every ending is only the beginning. The screen fades to black. The sound of a single web shooter clicks, and the faint thwip slices through the silence. Asterisk, the storm fades into the stillness of morning. New York breathes again, but it's not the same. The skyline is brighter, sunlight crawling up the sides of skyscrapers, but beneath the surface there's a hollowness, like the city has lost a heartbeat. Crowds flood the streets, cars honk, and life moves on, yet no one speaks the name Peter Parker. No one remembers the boy who wore the mask. Inside a cramped apartment, the camera lingers on small details. An alarm clock rings, ignored. A stack of unpaid bills rests on the counter. The walls are bare, stripped of pictures, stripped of identity. A close-up shows hands tying worn-out sneakers, moving with the weight of exhaustion. The faceless narration begins again, carrying both grief and resolve. He wanted the world safe. He wanted them free. So he gave up the one thing that mattered most. Himself? The sound of the city bleeds in subway, brakes screeching, vendors shouting, the rhythm of daily survival. Peter blends into it now, just another face in the crowd, unseen. He walks past a group of teenagers laughing. One of them wears a knockoff Spider-Man t-shirt. They joke about the old days when the web slinger swung across the skies. Peter passes without a glance, but the silence says more than words ever could. The narration tightens. But the fight doesn't end just because no one remembers your name. Quick flashes. A dark alley where a figure exchanges cash for weapons. A news anchor's voice echoing through a television shop window. Crime in the city has spiked, with reports of organized groups moving in where the Avengers once stood guard. A close-up of a gang symbol spray-painted on a wall fresh. Bold, daring, the screen cuts to black, and we hear Peter's breath, heavy, almost broken. Then the faint sound of the web shooter primes. A spark of red streaks across the frame. He's back on the rooftops, back in motion, but this time it's different. No cheers, no recognition. Just duty dot, and then a shift light cuts through the shadows. A young woman's voice, calm, curious. You always look like you're carrying the weight of the world. The camera turns to Sadie Sink's character, her hair lit by the golden haze of evening, her eyes filled with questions she doesn't yet know she's asking. She isn't introduced with fanfare. She's introduced with humanity. She notices Peter, the boy beneath the mask. Even if she doesn't know why, the narration softens. Sometimes hope doesn't wear a cape. Sometimes it just walks into your life. Scenes weave together like fragments of a dream. Peter helping her carry books across a rain-slicked street. Laughter in a diner, muted but real. A quiet moment in the park, the city alive around them. Yet it feels like they're the only two people there, but this isn't a romance, it's a warning. For every light that enters Peter's life, darkness waits in the corner. The music deepens, building a pulse beneath the images. We see shadows gathering, figures in suits watching from rooftops, crime bosses whispering names, deals sealed with blood. A suitcase slams shut. A hand, heavy with rings, grips a cane. A voice rumbles, low and menacing. Spider-Man may be forgotten, but debts remain unpaid. The scene shatters into chaos. A truck explodes in the middle of a crowded street. Screams echo as flames rise. Police sirens wail, powerless against the storm. Spider-Man swings in, the camera tracking him from behind, faceless and relentless. He's faster, sharper, every move fueled by desperation. But this isn't triumph. Every fight feels heavier, every victory incomplete. As the dust settles, Peter stands alone on a rooftop, watching the destruction below. The voice returns, final and firm. A brand new day doesn't mean freedom. It means the fight begins all over again. The music cuts, silence, only the faint sound of Sadie Sink's character laughing somewhere far away. Soft and fleeting, like an echo of something Peter almost forgot he could feel. Then, one last image. Peter standing at the edge of a rooftop, the sun setting behind him, his silhouette sharp against the fire-colored sky. The city stretches out before him, endless, unforgiving. The narration ends on a whisper. He gave up his life. But the world will still take everything from him. The screen fades to black. A single line appears, Spider-Man, brand new day, asterisk, the city does not sleep, it waits. From a distance, New York glimmers like a jewel, but closer, the cracks are wide open. In the silence of midnight, a deal is struck in a dimly lit warehouse. Shadows lean over crates of weapons, whispers thick with greed. A match flares, lighting a cigar, revealing a face only long enough to show a scar, a sneer, a smile that knows power is shifting. The camera doesn't linger, it cuts away, forcing us to imagine the monster behind the grin. The voice of the trailer lowers. Heavy, deliberate. When the mask is gone, when the name is erased, enemies crawl from the dark. They never forget. And they never forgive. The music quickens, sharp violins cutting like glass. Shots come in rapid fire. A rooftop chase, Spider-Man sprinting across steel beams as gunfire ricochets. Civilians screaming in a subway station as smoke floods the tunnels. A brief, terrifying silhouette, a massive figure in a tailored suit, cane in hand, watching from a balcony. The audience knows. The city knows. The Kingpin is here, but the trailer keeps his face in shadow, feeding the mystery. Peter swings through the night, but his moves feel desperate. The camera stays close on his torn suit, his clenched fists, the exhaustion in his stance. He is not the boy who once flew through the air with wonder. He is a man carrying the weight of battles that never end. The narration slices in again. They see a ghost. But ghosts can bleed. The chaos builds. Explosions tear through a construction site, fire swallowing the skeleton of an unfinished skyscraper. Spider-Man dives into the inferno, pulling survivors free, his web lines glowing against the flames. For a moment, there's silence, the cry of a child clinging to his shoulder. Then gunshots. He barely escapes, swinging into the black night. The trailer slows. A tender voice, Sadie Sink's character, whispering, "You don't have to do this alone." The image is fleeting, her hand reaching toward him, her eyes searching for something she doesn't yet understand. It's a soft moment in the storm, but even here, the threat lingers. Quick flashes cut her words apart. Peter crashing through a glass window mid-fight. A gang of masked men surrounding him, chains and blades in hand, his blood dripping on the concrete. A close-up of Kingpin's cane slamming down on the ground, the echo rattling the screen. The music surges into a pounding drum beat, faster, louder, unstoppable. The narration grows darker. Every choice has a cost. Every day brings a new war. And this time, the city wants blood. Then the trailer delivers its sharpest blow. A voice not of Peter, not of Kingpin, but of something older, colder. Spider-Man is not a hero. He is a target. The line burns as the screen cuts to a dozen wanted posters, each more violent than the last, plastered across brick walls. We see gangs ripping them down, laughing. Preparing for the hunt, the montage goes wild. Spider-Man swinging low over a collapsing bridge, the structure snapping like twigs beneath him. Police lights reflecting on his mask as an officer raises a weapon, not sure if friend or foe. Sadie Sink's character trapped in the chaos, reaching for him through broken glass. A glimpse of a new suit being pulled from a hidden case, sleeker, sharper, darker than silence. A close-up of Spider-Man's mask, cracked down the center. His eyes glow faintly. The voice of Kingpin finally emerges, deep, commanding, undeniable. New York belongs to me. The screen erupts. One final explosive sequence. Spider-Man diving off the tallest building in the city, fire exploding behind him. His web shooters firing in rapid succession, holding up crumbling debris. A brutal clash in the rain, fist against fist, shadow against shadow. The sound cuts. Black screen, a single heartbeat. Then a whisper, Sadie Sink's voice, soft but trembling, Peter. The screen fades to the logo, burning into view. Spider-Man, brand new day tagline beneath. Enemies remember what the world forgot. Asterisk, the trailer doesn't open with sound, it opens with silence. A silence so heavy it almost feels alive. Out of the black screen comes the faint, rhythmic sound of a heartbeat. Slow at first, steady, then faster, louder. Each thud echoes like war drums. Suddenly, the city explodes into motion. We see Spider-Man plummeting from the top of a skyscraper, arms spread wide as glass rains around him like falling stars. His web shooters fire in rapid bursts, catching beams, catching fragments of concrete, holding the impossible weight of a collapsing tower. His body strains, muscles trembling. Sparks erupt around him. The camera doesn't show his face, only the mask, cracked, burning, desperate. The narration crashes in like thunder. This city will break him, or he will break for it. The music erupts, deep, pounding horns layered with frantic violins. Every image is sharper, faster, almost too much to take in. Spider-Man swinging through streets engulfed in fire, explosions chasing him from behind. A rooftop fight in the rain, his punches brutal, his movements slower but heavier, as if every strike carries years of pain. Sadie Sink's character screaming his name, her hand reaching out through shattered glass as the ground crumbles beneath her. Kingpin stepping forward at last, revealed in full, his towering frame filling the screen, his voice booming, "This is my city, and I will tear him out of it." The screen cuts to black. For a beat, only rain is heard. Then the faint click of a web shooter. A spark of light. The screen ignites again with a violent clash, Spider-Man slamming into Kingpin with everything he has. The fight is raw, dirty, brutal. Every punch echoes like thunderclaps. Every fall feels final. Water floods the rooftop as the storm rages, lightning splitting the sky, but in the chaos there is quiet. A soft voice overlays the storm, Sadie Sink's character whispering, "You don't have to carry this alone." As her words echo, we see flashes of Peter saving strangers, pulling civilians from wreckage, webbing falling cars to buildings, shielding a child from debris. These moments are faceless yet human, reminders that Spider-Man's true power is not his strength, but his sacrifice. The trailer then accelerates again, cutting like shards of glass, a new Spider-Man suit being pulled tight across his shoulder sleek, shining in the rain, a rebirth. A police barricade breaking as a burning truck smashes through. Spider-Man swinging across the Brooklyn Bridge, lightning illuminating his figure like a ghost against the storm. A whisper of Sadie Sink's character calling out, "Peter." her voice filled with both hope and fear. The music rises to its peak, an orchestral storm mixed with electronic pulses, every beat like a hammer to the chest. The narration drives the final blow. Every ending is a brand new beginning. The screen flashes with one final montage, faster than before, each frame a spark, Spider-Man diving into fire, Kingpin slamming his cane into the ground, Sadie Sink's tear-streaked face, the Daily Bugle headline burning, a child lifting a broken Spider-Man mask from rubble, and then stillness. The screen fades to black. For a heartbeat, there's nothing until a single web shoots across the darkness, pulling the title into place. The letters slam together, bold, unstoppable, Spider-Man, brand new D-Way. The crowd roars in silence. The music fades, and then the stinger. One last shot. The camera slowly rises from a shadowed alley. Footsteps echo. A low, distorted laugh cuts through the quiet. A gloved hand picks up a shard of Spider-Man's mask from the ground. The screen goes black again. A whisper crawls across the silence. It's just the beginning. The Marvel Studios logo blazes across the screen.